Can you blend? Can you go back to like the like your that's it. Then she just disappears.
I love it. Really
Welcome to this very special episode of the Live Life Wise show, where we discover wisdom, dispel myths, and forge inspiring connections. My name is Geoff Talbot, founder of LifeWise Wellbeing, and this show is all about exploring ways to live with more clarity, power, and purpose. Through engaging discussions, expert insights, and thought-provoking topics, we explore the realms of personal growth, metaphysics, well-being, and the unseen forces shaping our lives. Whether you are seeking clarity, empowerment, or simply a new perspective, this is your space to live life wise. So if you care to hit subscribe and all the bells and buttons and stuff so you can be notified of what's coming up next, and welcome to the show. So today we are diving in to the world of music and performance, and I am over the moon to have join me today the beautiful and exceptionally talented, yet most grounded and funny, no pressure, singer, performer, and support to up and coming talent, Gemma Ashley. Hey, Gemma Ashley. How you doing, Gem? Quick
amazing.
Good?
Yeah, I love that introduction, Geoff. Thank you very much.
Gemma is a freelance singer, mentor, and a massive animal lover. I need to know what animal, but we'll get there. I think it's cats. She is a successful weddings and event singer, one half of CODA musicals, one half of ABBA Beats, and member of rock opera company Camora. Have I said that right?
Camora, yeah.
Awesome. And occasional voiceover artiste. Originally from the northwest of England, Gemma has been one of the UK's most requested singers for weddings and events for over a decade. And Gem, honestly, since hearing your voice, like, oh my gosh. Like, I appreciate this is more about kind of performance and the love of performing and what that brings to you, consciousness and stuff. And
yeah,
but your skills, bonkers. So during her career spanning over 20 years, Gemma has had the opportunity to work as a guest artist for various cruise lines such as the Royal Caribbean and Holland America. She has also served as onboard show team's lead vocalist for some of the leading and most popular cruise lines. Her passion for music from a young age inspired Gemma to become a professional singer and to entertain guests at wedding ceremonies, corporate events, and much more. Gemma Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Exciting.
So what is the animal? What's you said you're a big animal lover. What's the animal?
It's cats.
It's cats. Why is it cats?
Yeah, I love cats. I have two cats called Mickey and Simba. Simba is he was adopted, so he was called Simba anyway, but he's a big fluffy black and white cat, so he suits Simba. And my other cat Mickey is a black and white cat, and he is named after Mick Hucknall from Simply Red.
Why? And I like Mick, don't get me wrong. Out of the people's in music, like he's a good guy. So yeah,
I went
Mick.
to a concert years ago, and I went to see him live.
Money's too tight to mention.
He was doing all this dancing, and I thought, what a character. And then I adopted this cat, and I just decided to call him Mick, but he's Mickey. Everyone thinks he's Mickey Mouse, but he's not. He's Mick from Simply Red. So there you go.
Dude, love it. Gem, highlight of the week.
Highlight of the week.
Yeah.
Have I got loads? I always have loads of highlights of the week. Personal wise, I had a nice catch up with a friend last night. We did like a Zoom chat. She lives back up north.
Nice.
And we did a Zoom chat for like an hour and a half. It was so nice just to catch up, and yeah, that was a really nice highlight, because sometimes you just you don't stay in contact as much as you'd want to. So yeah, that was really nice. We were like going to schedule something more regularly now. So that was a highlight.
That is a beautiful highlight. Yeah. I love it because it's life doing life, right? But that's very cool. Yeah. Do you miss home?
I don't miss home as in like the area, although the Wirral is beautiful. I miss the people,
Yeah.
And I've got friends that I've known since I was 4 years old. So I miss them. And
how long have you been down these parts then?
So
South England.
I've been down south.
I've been down south.
Long So I moved. So I'm 40 now. I left home.
I thought you were 22.
Well, yes. Well, in my head, I'm still 22. I'm still 22 in my head. I left home when I was 20 to work abroad for my first contract. And I haven't moved, I haven't been back since. So
Yeah, life of adventure. Ooh. And Gemma
yeah,
sent me through Gemma's numbers, birth date numbers,
yeah.
and we'll go through that because it's
Go on, go on.
interesting. Oh, should we do that now? Hmm. No, we'll do that in a bit. Have you, as a singer, ever smashed a crystal glass with your voice?
No, but I really want to. Listen, that
Can
is
you
my
record it when you do? Sorry, go on.
yeah. Do you know what? I haven't smashed a crystal glass, but I did a gig once, right? It was a 50th birthday party. And I sang a really high note. And the one of the there was 5-0. The five balloon burst and they got it on camera. And it was
You
so
reckon because of your voice or because of
funny.
like other like atmospheric stuff?
Who
Or don't
knows?
know. Don't
Who
know. It
knows?
happened to happen at the same time.
I'm saying it's my voice, but
Yeah. What exploded? The five or the zero?
the five.
Ah, darn it. You're a five killer. Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was really funny, and I was singing PAAZoo, so it was really like kind of I was in the moment, and then it popped, and it was really hard not to laugh. And then we all laughed at the end. Me and the family laughed so much at the end.
That's epic. Do you know what? Out of any sort of like kind of wedding singers and stuff like that, I think you'd need someone who's got a really cool personality like you. You're
Yeah,
funny and you're kind of just down to earth and that. And I'm
yeah,
sure that must help heaps
I
for
think
people.
so.
And yeah, especially
Yeah.
kind of like mellow out the nerves of people and stuff like that, maybe.
Yeah, 100%. Because I actually like for wedding ceremonies, I never see the bride, obviously, or the groom. Like a lot of the time, I never really see them until this actual ceremony, unless we do like a video chat before. So I always find that quite interesting. But like afterwards, I get to meet them, so I get to chat with the family and that beforehand. I think it does help with having a good, like being able to chat to people and make people feel at ease. It definitely helps. I'm there to provide the music. I'm not there to like over, like to over, what's the word? I don't know. I kind of want to blend in. I don't want to be the main focus. Keep myself
Yeah.
to myself, provide the music, but discreetly.
Yeah. Dropping
Not like,
beats and then I'm off. Yeah.
"Woo,
Gemma has
it's
entered the building.
me!"
Why is performing important to you?
I think it's just within me. Like it's always been within me. Like when I look at like videos when I was like, little, I was like singing around the house with like we used to go to church. My mum used to do my Easter, like for Easter, these lovely dresses, and I'd be like in the house going, in my Easter body. Just like flying around the room in my nan's living room. And I've always performed. And it's a passion, but it's like a need. I have to, like, I can't not. I think, like, if you're a performer, you're just born with it, aren't you? No matter what you do, you have to perform. It's like a release. There's no better feeling than when I get to sing out, like really sing. It just feels like a massive, like, release of energy and everything. I just love it.
It's a very yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to jump straight into your numbers. Okay, so one of the
Yeah,
big things that I do with LifeWise throughout is a big theme in it is numerology. So that's your life through number and
right,
number like tone of voice has a frequency. So one is very different to two is very different to three, etc., etc. Right. So with your birth date, then that carries a like a tone to it, like your life blueprint. So you pop out a mum. I love this whole thing because it means that nothing's kind of done by accident, no matter how weird it might seem.
right. Yeah.
And as a tool for working with people, it's pretty phenomenal. It's fairly watertight, really. There's some wiggle room, but it's pretty
Mhm.
darn good.
Okay.
So you take the person's date of birth, you plot it on a noughts and crosses box. So that's what it comes up as. Yeah. So
Right.
your birthday, the way it works is the 24th of the fourth month. So there's another four in there.
Yeah.
1984. So you're lots of fours, right?
Pause.
And
Yeah.
fours is practical. It's doing stuff like I just gotta.
Okay.
I thought you'd have a whole bunch of sixes up here because six is kind of creativity,
Oh,
um,
really? Okay.
or or it's opposite destruction. So it's like a I gotta, otherwise things get wonky. But
Okay.
it's not. Yours is fours, like
Fours.
world of four. And even your ruling number is four. And you get that by summing up. So 2 + 4 + 4, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And that comes to 22 total. And then you round it down to single digit. So that is two
Okay.
plus two is four. So even your like ruling number, which is the thing you need to do in life. I'm four as well, which
Are
means
you?
which
Yeah.
means you're very kind of practical doing, you need to
Yeah.
kind of be doing stuff in your life, no matter what it
Yeah.
is. And if you're not, and if you're too much sitting behind stuff, it just drains. So that's just not
That's
you.
true. Yeah.
And so with you being triple for even four of those fours, it almost comes to a point where it might be a bit much. It's just very put out there. So no big surprises there. What do you think to that?
It's so interesting, like I absolutely love things like that. It makes total sense. I have to do things, otherwise I'll just go mad. I'm a bit of a planner. I love planning things, but I definitely a doer. Like I'm always on the go. There's always something happening, and I'm quite efficient, I would say.
Okay, very practical, very efficient. And then
Yeah,
there's levels of Gemma as well. And
yeah,
one
yeah.
last little bit. I did the same thing with your name.
Okay.
And the way it comes up is like this. So the
Oh,
top of the vowels, so there's your name, bada boom. These are the vowels, these are the consonants. Yeah. So this is what they sum up to. So this is the outer expression, is another four.
right.
So I just gotta.
Yeah.
And this is your soul urge, which is six, which is creativity. And then
Okay.
put those together is a 10, and 10 is full on expression. You can't necessarily control this person. This person's gonna do. That's just the way it is.
That's yeah.
So they're kind of more of the unconventional. They're the people you kind of watch and go like, flipping heck. And so
I
yeah, that's
love
your
that.
name, isn't it mad?
I feel that is so me, like that is 100% me. I absolutely love that.
So I guess when it comes to performing and why it's important, it's just in your everything.
It's ingrained. I always knew I was going to perform. Like there was never a question. I never had a plan B. I never had a backup plan. I was just, I'm going to do this.
This is me,
Yeah, this
quite
is
literally.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. What does performing do for you? You've explained a bit, but
Yeah.
for those people who be watching who go, yeah, but I want to, what does it do for you?
It's such an expressive thing, like a way to express. And if you're like really stressed, I know a lot of people sing in choirs for this reason. It's because there's something about when you're releasing this voice. If you're stressed, you automatically feel so much better, you relax more, and it's powerful. Like it gives you power, you feel strong, and like you can face the world and anything is possible. And that's what it is for me. Like, there's not a day goes by that I don't sing, even if I'm not gigging. I'm singing around the house. My neighbors probably are like, shut
Good
up.
point. Good point. You have really good buddy neighbors.
I do, I
Yeah,
do.
I hope so.
I do definitely. So yeah, it's like it's such a it's such a therapy. It's therapy for me. Like it really is, as it is for so many other people. So many people that sing or dance, it's so expressive and it's a release. Everyone's got their own thing, haven't they? Like some
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
people, I don't know, some people like to work on their car or, like there's so many different things that people like to do.
Yeah, but wait a minute. You're talking when it comes to performing, having been doing like this myself for tons of years. Uh, I'm aware of what you mean as far as the kind of power you get, the challenge it is as well.
Yeah.
And you're meeting certain like missions and chapters that you put yourself on because someone said, or you've asked to do a gig, or someone's asked you, or they're paying you. So
Yeah.
there's this whole you're bring yourself up to a moment, so you're training to a point, so there's all that life excitement, and then there's the doing, and then there's the packing away and then getting in your car afterwards. And
Yeah.
like that's for me was always like the powerful bit. Like the night was never enough kind of thing. Even though it
Yeah,
was, and I'll just be going
yeah,
home to chill out and have a beer or something.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then stay awake for hours later because you're so high on like adrenaline and things.
Absolutely. So there's a huge power to it. So yeah, totally.
Yeah, it is so like, yeah, you obviously like you get it. It's just a pure, it's power, it's passion, it's such a release. And I know that if I didn't have that in my life, I'd be like, you know,
Yeah, I was
like
gonna say, what would you reckon like would happen? Because I've got this as a question as well. What happens to
really
Gemma if she's not able to perform? So
I I just burst, yeah. I
it's
don't know.
pink everywhere.
Yeah. I just explode.
Yeah,
I don't know because I've never not done it. I've literally been performing since I've been on stage since I was like 5. So I just I don't even know what I'd be without it, you know?
that's an awesome answer to a question that you haven't had to face the answer to, because it's
Yeah.
just that's kind of what I do. Do you see yourself kind of just doing this, just doing it, or something else? I don't know. I was thinking the
Well, I
same thing
mean,
as my dad, as he would cycle everywhere, like flipping everywhere. And then it was a case of he loves it so much, but at some point the body will
yeah,
go, yeah, I can't keep doing that. So if that's your love and your drive and everything,
yeah,
like have not say that you got a plan B and you have to think about the future. That's not what I'm saying. Is like, but
yeah,
is there a is there a thing of, yeah, what do you reckon happens then? Or would you
yeah.
just
No,
keep doing it?
I mean, I've got to admit, like, definitely over the last year, I've started to change things slightly. Whereas, you know, like the traveling can be quite tiring and things like that, the long days, the long nights. And that's why I decided that I wanted to help other musicians, singers that are just starting out. So I want to do them. I've started doing some mentoring with other, you know, like performers.
I'll tell you what, we'll dive a little more into that because I want to have that as a specific
Oh
for
yeah,
you.
nice.
Just want to give that
Okay.
a bit more sort of airplay than just to
Yeah,
kind of
okay,
squish
definitely.
over. In that case, can we go back and kind of get a little bit of a timeline of the Gemma story?
I went to dance class from 4, and then we always did shows. So I was at dance school until like 16, 17. So we always did like the, you know, like shows and things like that. So we were always performing. Um, and then from 16, 17, then I went to study musical theatre. So that's where I did my training and musicals and things like that. So yeah, I've always actually always danced. And then my nan said, "Oh, you should send her to singing lessons. She's got a set of lungs on her." Because I was always around the house going, "Nan," you know, like calling her, just being really, but she loved it actually. She was like my best mate. But yeah, so she said, "Get her to singing lessons, you know, she's got such a powerful voice." So my mum sent me to classical lessons at the age of 12, I think. And I hated it because I wanted to sing like pop star. And this woman was making me sing Green Sleeves. And I was like, oh God, what is this? You know? But thank God my mum sent me to these classical lessons from a young age because it really was like the foundation for everything else, you know? And then when I went to theatre school, I went in as a dancer and came out as a singer. I never thought I'd be a singer. I always thought I'd be a dancer. In these couple of years, I just discovered that this voice was here, you know, and there I was coming out as a singer.
What age was that? Sorry, kids at 16,
So
17.
17 to 19, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from theatre school, I left and I took a job abroad in Lanzarote for €21 a night. It was, you know what? It was one of the best contracts I ever had. It was so fun, but I was skint.
21 euros a night, stuff, dude.
I
How many
called my
nights were
mum.
you doing?
every night.
Yeah.
Every night we got a little van, we drove around Lanzarote. I was 20 at the time.
That's about 25 miles, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember. Oh yeah, it's really small, isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
a big place.
really small. But yeah, so
That's cool.
that was like my first experience. But actually before that, I joined a trio where we performed up and down the UK in social clubs. So I really did start and work my way up, you know. We did pubs, we did social clubs, everything. And that was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. That was when I was 19.
How old were you roughly around that time? Roughly. Is that like 20,
Oh,
early
yeah.
20s?
I was 20.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So then after
Yeah.
the Lanzarote experience, which must have been so cool,
So
what
fun.
came after that?
So after that came cruise life. So I auditioned for a cruise ship as a singer dancer. So you have like you can have either be a singer or a singer dancer or a dancer singer. So the first one, I was a dancer singer, which means I did more dancing than singing. And then from there, I did other cruise contracts. So I used to travel for like 6 months or 9 months, come home, well, back to the Wirral, and then for a little bit and then go back again. And I did that for about 4 years. And then I moved to London at 24 or 25. So
This is cool. This is just like a life of adventure and performing,
yeah,
like so far. So then
exactly.
that then brings you to sort of like mid-20s,
Yeah, I think
bit
I was
more, and then
24 or 25 when I moved
yeah.
to London. And then I was like, because my mum and dad, my dad said, what the blooming heck are you going to do in London, you know? And I was like, just going to figure it out, Dad. You know what? I've started to plan more recently. I've never been a planner. I've never known what I'm going to do in the next 6 months. I've always just had this feeling that everything will work out, you know? And I just trusted that gut instinct and just went with it. And it's always worked out. I moved to London and got a job in Harrods, where I worked on all different kind of, you know, like I was an agency staff at Harrods. But and then
As in what, like shop floor kind of thing, or were you performing in Harrods?
No, I wish I did apply for a job there because they used to have opera singers at Harrods. I never got it, but I used to be on the shop floor. Yeah, I worked for Roberta Cavalli Kidswear, and I was 3 days a week there, 12-hour days, so 36 hours a week. And then I was alongside that was auditioning for different things. And then I got a job in a classical trio, and we did gigs on cruises and events, festivals. That was brilliant. That was
And how
about,
long was that for?
I
Because
think that was
that's
2
cool.
years, 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And then after that, that's when I was like, I'm going to set myself up as a soloist. I want to sing at weddings. I'd never done it before. I want to sing at weddings. And I did my first ceremony for someone I went to school with, which was so lovely. It makes me laugh now because I turned up. I didn't have any equipment. And they had a CD player.
Yeah.
And I just gave my CD and I just sang. And now I'm like, gosh, it just shows like how inexperienced I was.
But you start somewhere, right?
Yeah, because you're just starting, aren't you?
Or
You
yeah, you
know,
just have the idea and go,
you don't really
okay, let's
know.
go. I've got all the backing, so
Yeah,
I have none of the
exactly.
technical or
Yeah.
anything.
And that yeah, and when obviously like when we lead on to like chatting about the mentor, and that's another reason why I want to do it, because I didn't have a clue. I really didn't know. So
Totally get it.
yeah, so anyway, so then I started singing at weddings, and then when I really put my mind to it, I did some amazing ones. I sang at a wedding at the Roman Baths, which was phenomenal. Just down there, it was just beautiful.
Whereabouts Roman baths, like
In Bath,
where? Because oh,
you know, the
right. So
historic
actually
Roman
in Bath,
Baths,
yeah.
historic Roman Baths, and I was there, you know, and you're just surrounded by, it's just like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I sang at the Savoy for someone's wedding. I did loads.
And the Roman bath thing must have been so cool. Or are you talking? How did the acoustics work and stuff like that? Was it like that they had all that covered back in the
Well,
day?
the thing is, it's like, yeah, I mean, I did take a system with me. And obviously, like, because it's quite there's obviously like the sound bounces off the walls and that. So it's because it's not completely open. So acoustically, like I did need a system there. I had a PA system, and it was for the bride's entrance song, and then during the ceremony. But you know what's such a shame is that it was at the time when I wasn't filming like any of the gigs. So now I'm like, how amazing would that have been to have it on video?
Because that would have been a good one to have.
So yeah, the weddings really started to pick up and it was just brilliant.
That been then carrying on since?
Then I started to focus more on the events um, because I wanted to do more corporate events and that. So then they started to come. And then I was doing both. I was doing weddings and events. And then I started doing more events as a soloist still. So I did that for quite a while, probably 10 years. And within the last 2 years, then I've started to do other projects as well alongside that.
So that brings us up to date. So what are the other two projects then that you got kind of going on then? Because
Well,
CODA one of them?
CODA's one of them. CODA is a musical theatre duo. So we perform songs from the musicals. So, like, and songs from film as well. So me and Mark, that's my partner in crime, musical crime. We met on a TV show years ago called All Together Now, where we were judges, and we met there, and Mark reached out to me a couple of years ago. Would you be interested in this project? It's 4 people. I've got an idea to tour this show, music songs from the musicals. So I said, yeah, 100%. And then it never worked out. It was just 2 of us. And we get on really well and have such a laugh. So we've just kept it as the 2. So that's one of the projects. And we, sell our shows to the theatres. The other one is the ABBA tribute. So that's me and my friend Chess, and we are the ABBA girls, ABBA Beats. So we do lots of functions, birthday parties, that kind of thing.
How is that different?
It's so different because, well, obviously the music's different, but the reason I started working with other people was I missed that, like, that company, that camaraderie that you get with working within a cast or within a group of people. So I wanted to do more of that.
That makes a lot of sense. I guess going solo is great up to a point. I guess it'll be like anyone who's sort of like in the group and decides to go solo after a while, I suppose.
Yeah.
You just want some time alone, probably.
Yeah.
But this is then the opposite of that.
Exactly, yeah, because you do get to a point where the long drives, the setting up of the equipment, all that type of stuff, and you're on your own, and it's nice to have someone else there, if I'm honest. So yeah, that was like the goal recently, was to work with other people more. So the ABBA tribute is really, really fun. And I forgot to mention about Camora, which is the rock opera theatre company. I think I joined them 7 years ago. Kind of do something probably like once a year. So the guy that runs Camora is a really successful progressive rock musician, and he's been in bands for like years. He's organising a zombie festival next weekend that I'm performing at, so that'll be fun.
Where's that going to be?
That is in his house. So basically, he has this gorgeous house in Hereford. He's built a mead hall in the back garden, and he does all.
How cool is that?
Oh my God, you would love it. Like, you would absolutely love it.
That's mad.
Yeah. So
like, as in like a banquet, kind of. This is what I'm.
Yeah, long tables. Like I'll have to send you a picture or something. So we did a concert last year, the end of last year, which was a Vikings and Victorian festival, because like the musical, it's like like steampunk style. So everyone was all dressed up. It was so cool. So yeah, next weekend is a zombie festival
at the same place, at like the Mead Hall thing.
At the Mead Hall,
yeah.
And there's going to be like a talk on zombies and horror films and all this stuff. And I'm singing some songs with one of the bands there. So I'm part of the Camora Theatre Company, but I get to do lots of other things within the company. Like I get to do like some gigs, like with some of the bands in that, which is really great. I'm really close with a girl called Magda. I call her a girl. She's like a bit older than me, but we're just a pair of teenagers when we're together. We've become dead close, and she does all the website and organisation side for it. And she tells me when I auditioned, Clive said he auditioned me, gorgeous voice, but not sure about the accent. So that was 6 years ago. And within the company, I've performed at the Cheltenham Playhouse a few times.
Okay.
I go to Norway to perform with them as well. They have a
What?
company in Norway. Yeah, I'm off to Norway in June. That's going to be really cool. So
Dude,
yeah, lots of opportunities.
that's so exciting.
Yes, so exciting. So that's kind of something that's been going for about 6, 7 years. I've been with them. I'm going to send you a video. I did like a little video of the last event, the Vikings and Victorians, and I just think you would love it.
Send it through.
I'm going to send it you,
I'd
yeah,
love to see it.
because he sells tickets to the public, so there will be more ones. And actually, in the Me Tour, what they do is they put the seats out because they use it as a concert hall. So all the seats out, and I think it fills about 60 people. So recent projects, CODA, ABBA Beats, and Camora, which I've been part of for about 7 years.
That's awesome. So it's busy, but it all fits in what you kind of want to do, and you looked after. And
because I think the thing is with me, I do need that variation. I get bored quite easily.
that's all the fours, I tell you.
Is that
All
what
your
it is?
Oh
Oh,
man,
there
that's
you
what's
go.
practical.
Yeah.
And with two of them, sorry to kind of like pause you,
No.
that's probably quite frustrating.
No,
Is that ooh, you've also got an arrow. We need to talk like after this.
okay.
So you mentioned before about the mentoring. What is it you're doing now as a project?
The thing that I wanted to do for this year was, well, one of the reasons why I thought I would like to do less traveling with work and things like that, but I still want to do something that's within the industry. I still want to perform, but perhaps I want to take a bit of a step back and have a better like balance with life and things. So somebody asked me last year at a gig, how, like, how did you start out? How did you get into this? And I just told them how. And then I had a lot of people last year come to me and ask me advice about things, whether it be about what PA system to buy or how much should I charge and all this type of thing. And then I thought this year, you know what? People have been asking me this for a while. Why don't I start mentoring people that are new to the industry, that just need some guidance, things that I didn't have, when I started. So that's where I've set up the Gigs for Singers, which is the mentoring program. And that is a totally new thing for me. But I'm really enjoying it. I've got two sing performers at the moment that I'm mentoring. So, and that's completely new for this year.
That's so cool, and all the best for
Thank
it.
you.
And what an awesome angle. So do you draw up a package, or is it kind of bespoke to the person?
Yeah, it's bespoke because it obviously depends if they're literally starting out. So I've got one singer and she'd never done a gig on her own before. So she didn't have PA system. So I helped her set up all that stuff. We worked on her repertoire. We chatted about what fees she's comfortable, putting out there. So for her, that was a new thing. But then I'm also working with a singer who's had experience, but he just wants some guidance within the wedding industry. So it's bespoke. Yeah, it's totally bespoke on per person. Yeah. And then
That's good.
yeah, in the future I might look at doing some like webinars and some actual programs, but it's all very new to me, so I'm just taking it easy, doing what I feel comfortable with.
You're
Yeah,
putting it together, having traveled the journey. I mean, it makes complete sense, doesn't it? You get to
yeah,
draw up
exactly.
something that makes sense there and mentor people. Oh, I
Mm.
wish you all the best for it. So you got two
Thank
clients
you.
currently,
I've got two, and
and
I've just got another one, another lady. So we'll be starting next week. So yeah, it's and at the moment I'm just actually building up the business. So I'm giving these sessions in return for video testimonials. So then I can obviously going forward, I can start to charge at some point. But for now, I just want to get some testimonials and things. So You know
I mean,
what?
that's got legs, hasn't it? For like later on down the line.
Definitely. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like I really enjoy it. And years ago, I got a message from a parent through my website. And he said, "Oh, I've got my daughter, she loves classical singing, but we don't know which way to go. Would you be interested in mentoring her?" And I said no, because at the time, it wasn't even on my radar. There is a need, out there.
Oh,
That's
man.
the thing. I mean, I've got a mentor, so I think it's like, it just helps, doesn't it? It just helps you like have, use someone as a soundboard. It's so beneficial to me. So that's why I feel like what I'm giving is really beneficial to others.
Because you're coming with the experience and you're able to then reach out and all
Yeah,
the best.
thank you so much. And yeah, it is a niche, isn't it, really? Because it's like I know exactly who I want to help. And it is them freelance
Yeah.
performers. And it's so niche that it's like freelance performers that want to succeed in the wedding and event industry. I wouldn't be the right mentor for someone that wants to go into musical theatre, because I don't know much about that. But what I know about is the gig life.
I would like a report on my desk by the end of 2025, and we can see this and see how far you've gone down the line. I think having
Yeah.
a couple already is very cool. Cutting
Yeah.
your teeth on that just to get some video
Oh
footage
my
and
God.
that kind of thing.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Bada
Yeah.
boom. I think so.
Testimonials. Yeah.
I want to ask, what happens? You said about an accent that your contact said about. What happens to an accent when people are singing? That means the accent goes away. What happens there?
It is not strange. It really does. Like, it's not even something that you think about. You don't think, oh, I'm going to sing and I'm going to lose my accent. But when we were at theatre school, we got taught you either choose, you make a choice. You either sing with an American twang or you sing with an English twang accent, whatever. And that was more specific for musical theatre. Like in what I'm doing now, we are doing musicals, but it's strange. Like,
Yeah, but that's a choice. What you were saying there is a choice, American or English.
yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
I don't know that people, or do they? No,
You
make
don't
that choice
know
because
exactly.
you just do, and
But
then
I
the
think,
accent, whatever it is
yeah,
that you might have spotted when they were
yeah,
talking, you don't
it's
spot when
gone.
they're singing.
Exactly. And I think it's a lot to do with vowel placement though as well, like when you taught to sing, like place, where to place your voice. So obviously it's the way that I sing is totally different to the way that the way that I speak is totally different to the way that I sing. Because if I'm going to be like bath, I'm going for bath, but when like when I sing, it's where I'm placing it. I couldn't sing like it would just be weird.
Got
So
it.
it's all about the placing of the voice, and the accent then just
That totally makes sense.
goes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's the mechanics,
It's the
and then
mechanics. Yeah, yeah,
that classical, not even
yeah.
classical, but that natural tone over
Precisely.
singing. All right, that
Yeah,
makes some
it's
sense.
definitely
Oh
mechanics.
man, you have
Yeah,
answered the question that's been bugging me for a
really.
lifetime. Yeah, it's like, how does it happen? Like, who
Yeah,
do
but
you?
then you think of some bands, don't you? Like obviously the Beatles, they sang with their accents. And there's some Scottish bands as well that sing with their accent. But
Very
that,
good point. Biffy
yeah.
Clyro with their Scottish,
Oh,
like
exactly. Yeah, there you
really
go.
thick Scottish accent, which I
Yeah.
love. And another group, oh my gosh, that's standing out now. You opened a can of worms. Frightened Rabbit.
Okay.
Yeah, who did they back for? Went and saw them sort of by accident, and they turned
Yeah.
out to be one of the best bands I've seen like ever. So good, but really thick Scottish.
Exactly. And
Um,
that's, yeah.
yeah, good
And
point.
I feel like that's definitely a choice. And I feel like that's maybe it comes natural to them. It wouldn't come natural to me to sing, but I guess that's different type of music as well. So it's
Good point.
totally different. And the way that you would place your voice for singing like the pop or the rock is so different to what
Absolutely, because
I
it's
would
more organic,
use
isn't
for
it? You know,
classical.
you're
Yeah.
not learning a like
It's not,
a set way.
yeah, exactly. It's still technical, but it's technical in a different way. I went to Poland to see a pirate metal band that me and my friend Magda really like. And they sing with the lead singer sings with a Scottish accent. And it wouldn't be the same if he didn't sing without that Scottish accent.
So it's more a case of training and
Yeah,
learning a certain way rather than it is you lose your accent. Because, like you're saying,
yeah.
there's plenty of people with like good accents there, right?
Oh my God, yeah. And for me, I really like it because then, I go and, oh, I'm like this. Oh, and then I'm like, oh, well, you can have a cup of tea. And everyone's like,
Oh, is she?
oh. And then you get the, oh, you don't sing classical, do you? And I'm like, just you wait. Because
Oh,
they hear my accent and just presume that, I'm not gonna be able to
she's going to
sing
sell
that
us fish and chips.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Have you got any anecdotes that have happened maybe on like any of your cruise liner ships
Oh
that
God.
stand out?
There's not been any actual faux pas, like really bad ones, but there's been funny ones like that, where I've forgot to put something on, or one time during a dress run on the ship, I was a I was dressed as a baby elephant in this like silver, like all in one leotard thing, and I didn't have time to put my shoes on. But because the costume was so long, as soon as I went on stage, I kept falling over and I was tripping. And I thought it was dead funny, and I got really
And
told
you...
off for that.
That's
Get off!
funny.
They shouted at. I was pissing myself because I thought it really suited the character actually, because we were bit little baby elephants,
Oh, okay, that's cool.
That was
Yeah.
aggressive. But yeah, like things like that have happened where I forgot to put certain costumes on. I haven't like fell off a stage, touch wood.
No, no, haven't fainted. No falling off the
Not fainted. I've not done any of that stuff.
ship.
Yeah.
Hasn't crashed into any docks or icebergs or.
No, luckily not. I mean, I did leave one cruise contract early, right? Because I really didn't enjoy it. And me and a few of the other team, we weren't treated very well. Me and a few of the other team members, when it came back to Southampton, we got off and we never went back. But we told the company we weren't coming back. And then that particular ship got arrested in Madeira, and it got held at the port for like a month. So we were like, oh my God, thank God we got off that ship.
How's
Because
that?
they were stuck in like Funchal for like a month.
Nothing by accident. Like,
Yeah,
nothing by accident.
isn't it crazy? I
Isn't it
know.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Love
mad.
that. What would you tell aspiring up and comers
Yeah.
who want to get into like more professional performing? What advice would you give them?
I would say first off is like find your niche, get a niche, because there's so many types of performing. What do you want to do? Like really have a think about what is it you want to do. Do you want to go into musicals? Do you want to go into like do you want to be a singer? I think that's really important. I think I never had that. I was always just like, I'll do whatever. Like this comes up, I'm going to do that. So I never really had much direction throughout my whole career. Things just happened. But I think it's good to find your niche, have a think about what you want to do, and just do a little bit of research into it. Like have a little look into, for example, if you do want to be a wedding singer, well, what part of the wedding do you want to sing at? Ceremony, or do you want to be in a band? And then I think a good thing is have a support network. There's so many like Facebook groups that you can join that are like networking for singers, that type of thing. Surround yourself with people that do the same thing, that want the same kind of goals, have the same goals. I think that's really important. Otherwise, you could feel like you're on your own. So I think get a network, make the effort to get
That's great
a
advice, right?
network.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
get
it's
together with
so
people who are
important.
like-minded.
Exactly. Like I'd still do that now, it's so important. And get a mentor. Honestly. Have someone that can like guide you, because it's definitely helped me. I've had different mentors over the years and it's so helpful.
I could see you getting swamped with people who are just needing support.
Well, yeah, I hope so. I think it's just getting it out there, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Just again, packaging, planning, and
Yeah.
kind of off you pop. You've got a 10% off
Yes, I
for
have.
people
Yeah.
as we come to the top of like our show. So yeah, can you explain a little bit more? How can that work for people?
Yeah, so for 2025, if anyone's interested in having live music me at your wedding or event, then anybody that contacts me via this show, yeah, I'm going to offer 10% off.
Very cool, very
Yeah,
generous.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're
awesome. So that's for
welcome.
like weddings and events and that
Weddings,
kind of thing, right?
events, anything. Yeah, events, birthday parties, weddings, christenings, whatever.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'll get all that out and I'll put
Yeah.
the code and what have you down there. Oh, is there like a set code? Should we give it so like LifeWise all capitals? So then I'll put that up. Yeah, cool.
Brilliant. Thanks,
As like
John.
LifeWise all caps. Nice one. And I will be sure to put up all of your handles and where to find you.
Thank you.
And is there anything else you might want to say as we close out?
No, just thanks for having me on. You know what? I've really enjoyed it. And it's been really interesting actually to learn about my numbers and that. I find that really cool. So thank you for that. Thanks for having me on. And I look forward to watching. I forgot to add something really funny actually. You asked me about funny things that happened. Did I tell you that MTV contacted me about using a clip of me where I hit my head on a microphone?
Go on.
Can't remember. So I've got this video on TikTok and I'm like doing a gig and I'm like, da, 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 and then I accidentally whacked my head on a microphone, right?
Sexy.
So I know. Everything. And then I carried on. And then this program, MTV, it's outrageous, it's called, I think, messaged me to say, we'd like to use your video in an episode to slate it. So they basically just take the piss out of people and like slate the video. But like, I was like, I don't mind. Fair enough. So that might be happening this year. But they're going to pay me. I'll keep you posted if that happens.
Headbutting microphones. Absolutely. I never used to get nervous with gigs up until literally the moment I was about to open my mouth. Really? There'll be like about a 3-second thing of, oh, what happens if... and then just
I know
off you go. Very bizarre. You get that?
I have that, you know, when I do the theatre shows with Mark, because I'm always the one that opens the show. I'm always the one that sings first. And one of the opening numbers that we had for about a year, I just had a chord and then I'd come in a cappella. But I had to hear that chord, otherwise who knows what note I'm going to come in on. The amount of times where like the sound techs played the chord when I was still backstage and I was like, I feel your finger, you know, like coming on stage. And the tech like that used to like really give me these heart palpitations. I'm like, oh my God. But then I felt like proper like nerves then, you know, and things like that happen. Or one time, me and Mark were doing a show. I couldn't get through the bloody curtain. I couldn't get through it. So I'm singing this song a cappella, and I'm supposed to be nice and still. And I'm like, I feel I'm trying to get through the bloody curtain. That's when I get nervous.
Do you mean that's when you get nervous? Understandably so.
Nervous, yeah. When things like that happen.
That's epic. That's so good. That's real life moments. Yeah. Composure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, look, Gem, it has been a gem to have you on the Live Life Wise show. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
And I will see you soon, no doubt.
Thank you very much, John.
And best of luck with all of your adventures.
Thank you.
Thank you for everyone for watching the Live Life Wise show. This has been Geoff Talbot for the Live Life Wise show by LifeWise Wellbeing with the mighty Gemma Ashley.
Just out of interest, you were like, obviously you've been in bands and that. What type of bands were you in?
It started off like 17, making our own band. That was called Toe Jam on the back of Pearl Jam.
Oh my God.
Toe Jam! It was all covers then. That was Nirvana.
Yeah.
It was all good sort of grungy, rocky stuff. And then that was really for fun. I remember this like little moments and playing, like singing, because I was singing, right? So I'll do some guitar. I guitared more later. We were gigging and seeing like the drummer's cymbal just come rolling past me.
Oh my God.
And he's like, and I threw my hat to like for like a pretend sort of like, hey, put your money in here. And he got caught in the light. And then we forgot about it and started smoking.
Oh shit.
That was like way later on in the night.
Oh my God, no way.
It was amazing. 2013, bluesy rock stuff. So we called ourselves the Short Straws. And I will send you something. Yeah, so we cut an EP. So myself and my bros and a couple of mates just basically started up just jamming out.
Yeah.
And then that turned into stuff. And it was all of that giving birth to tunes that were just coming out. And that's the bit I loved. It was so organic. Loved all that. So we did that for about 3, 4, maybe even 5 years, maybe a bit more than that actually. Yeah. And then we toured to like, well, I say toured. We gigged around in St Albans and Hertfordshire, basically, and then North London, did some gigs there as well. So yeah, that was cool. Loved it.
It's caught in the crossfire.